There we go. All right. Check.
What's going on? One,
Good.
2, 3.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Get Comfy TV.
Yes,
We're
sir.
back. We're here. You know, we just sitting here talking, discussing, you know, the hip hop battles that have happened over the history of hip hop. And I said that the Kendrick and Drake battle, I think it goes down as the biggest battle ever in hip hop history. And I feel like somebody sitting here seems to disagree. I don't know.
I wasn't disagreeing. I don't want recency bias. I feel like the dust is settling, and it's not as big of a hip hop war as East Coast West Coast to me. I think that was bigger.
I mean, doesn't this feel like a little bit like a hint of East Coast West Coast too?
Um,
Because I mean, the whole West seems to like think that they're all like a part of it. Like they all like jumping in, they're saying what side they're on.
But it's not necessarily East Coast for Drake. It's just like,
It seems like that's how they take it.
but who's on Drake's side?
Atlanta. He really just him and like Thug, and
you're going too far. It's different. People were losing their lives during the East Coast West Coast.
people
It
got
was a
shot.
thing. It's not the same.
I'm not saying it's the same in terms of how many people are dying and nothing like that, but I think hip hop is more important now than it was then. On a global scale,
It's bigger.
it has more impact.
It's bigger. The ripples are gonna look bigger, but for hip hop where it was and how big the beef got, it was. I don't know, man.
I will agree with you if you want to say it was bigger. It was big. There's the gravity of the battle. Pac versus Big might have been huger in comparison to what hip hop was at the time. But I don't know if I would say it's any larger. It's comparable for real to this current battle and how big this is. Just period.
I don't think we'll be talking about this in 25 years.
Oh no, I think you're bugging, Gay.
I don't think so.
We will because of the people, because of
Literally
Drake,
who it
because
is,
of Kendrick.
yeah.
That's the reason, though.
These guys have accolades and accomplishments that no one else in the history of this game can touch.
But I think most not most beefs. I think many beefs will talk. Like we're gonna still be talking about Jay-Z, Nas in 15 years.
Yeah, look how long we've talked about that, and that's not even remotely as big.
I feel like we haven't talked about it as much. Like something that's big that I think they're 90 and they're still gonna be beefing is Ja Rule and 50 Cent.
Yeah, that's a big one. But that one is a different kind of big. Like it's big more so. Pause, by the way, but it's big more so because of how much they keep carrying on with it too. Because they keep doing things. They've been doing things for 20 years. But I don't know.
I feel like this wouldn't be as big if it wasn't like the whole reason the West got something to say. They're putting on. It's all remnants of East Coast West Coast.
It is, but you're saying East Coast, West Coast. I don't want to say Big and Pac is the East Coast.
That's what it was.
They were representing those coasts, but it was Biggie and Pac battling.
It got bigger than them.
East Coast, West Coast is the overarching battle that's always existed and is always going to exist. Really,
It didn't exist like that before them.
they started it. Yeah, they started what East Coast, West Coast is, but there's always been variations of that, like carrying through. But just because this is born out of that doesn't make this like not larger. Being the first doesn't make you the best. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. This beef was carried onto that Super Bowl stage, bro. TV commercials.
See, I was young for East Coast, West Coast, so I'm not even like saying it's bigger. I don't even know. But when he was mentioning like social media and stuff impacting it, like making a difference, I do think like the reason hip hop is more popular today is outside of just it being existing longer, so people listening to it more, is social media and the internet like helping to make it bigger. And I think that also made the beef more popular, I guess. Like more people had their eyes on it. But I think one of the points people was trying to make was like the amount of people that were paying attention to the East Coast West Coast beef when hip hop wasn't as popular was like crazy in comparison.
It was definitely a difference to me.
Yeah.
It's definitely a difference. Like,
Yeah.
I think the nostalgia of that beef came up in this beef as well, and it made people.
Hold on. So I'm sorry, I broke your train of thought. I think it was.
No, it was me.
Nah.
It was me. So, what I'm saying is, I feel like the nostalgia of that beef is what got people so excited for this one. That's when I think more people started paying attention to hip hop because that got so real. With the whole Biggie Pac, East Coast, West Coast.
But
it blew up after that.
Yeah, but it blew up because that is the first. So everything you're describing is just the impacts of being the first of something. But
it
that
wasn't
doesn't
the
make
first
it
beef. It was the first time it grew so largely.
It was the first beat that mattered outside of like hip hop.
Pac. There was Common, Ice Cube. There was
nobody cared about that outside of hip hop.
NWA.
NWA had their stuff, but they were beefing with the system.
There was mad stuff. The Bridge is Over. There was beef.
Yeah, but you're naming like beefs that were relevant to hip hop only. Really, like if you weren't a hip hop person,
that's the point.
That is exactly my point.
But then how can you put them in the same conversation as a beef that transcended the very medium it's from?
Because it transcended. That's my point. You're talking about a beef that's happening in the middle of hip hop, which hip hop is currently pop.
Yeah,
I'm talking about beef happening that transcended the genre, and the genre was not even big yet. The genre was still,
but they did those.
It was like punk rock still.
Big and Pac transcended the genre. The other ones you're naming, nah.
I think that's the point though. I think.
Yes, NWA transcended the genre.
But when you say NWA, you talking about like the fuck
they
the police
had beef
era
amongst each other. Remember when they broke up?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I didn't really know much about that until the movie dropped.
That's
like
right.
I heard about it, I knew about it, but like in detail,
because
not really.
there was no internet when stuff happened. It was kind of like you had to be in the know. So when the Biggie Pac thing happened, and it's in Time magazine, that is a huge deal because it was a lot of word of mouth. There wasn't this.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we didn't have Vivo, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have MTV. Was kind of whack with that type of stuff too. It was just different.
I feel like you're standing on like how important it might have been to hip hop and all that at the time and everything, but I'm just talking about just the gravity of the battle. Period. Like how far and wide it reaches, how much staying power has. Like not like us. Like there hasn't been a bigger beef song. Like there's not gonna be like people are dancing saying "Say Drake, I heard you like I'm young."
You about to get me in another bag.
In another country, they're doing that word for word.
But there's somebody pushing a button.
Oh yeah.
So you about to get me in a whole nother. It's a whole nother.
You're not gonna get me to disagree with that. I definitely think that this is orchestrated.
Yeah,
but I mean, I still think like as far as like beefs and like battles go, I think this is the biggest that we've ever seen. I think it's the biggest. I honestly think it's going to be the most impactful, even more than Big and Pac, even though lives were lost, and rest in peace to them in the Big and Pac battle. Big and Pac didn't get the time they needed to be as transcendent in terms of not just like how the mythos, but just what they actually did to the game.
When you say more impactful, you mean more impactful to what?
Like
everything? Hip hop?
I think this is going to be more impactful to hip hop, music, the industry itself. I think it's going to be a pop culture event that's going to go down. Like for people who don't even listen to hip hop, they're going to remember this as an era, as a thing that happened. I think music is going to be different. Like the future of hip hop is going to change based off of this.
I don't the lawsuit, including the lawsuit. Then yeah, I agree.
Part of it.
But. Like I think just prior to the internet, the Big and Pac beef is part of what made hip hop grow.
Sure, there's two different conversations though, isn't it?
No, but I think that is an impact on hip hop.
Yeah, but
lasting effect, like what you're talking about. Unfortunately, I don't. It doesn't. I don't. It's not diminishing the beef, but it could never do that again. I don't think there's another level for hip hop to go to.
Yeah.
Beyond what Big and Pac?
No,
you saying?
beyond where it is now.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the lawsuit. I think will have
it's
some
on a
impact. But
decline.
I don't know if necessarily there's another level for it to go to or not. I think there's another way for it to exist though, like for it to be different, for the industry to function differently, for music to come out differently. I actually think that this is gonna resurge hip hop. I think hip hop was in a decline and it was in a downturn. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the NBA a little bit. Like you see how we get all these new stars, but at the end of the day, it's still Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. The old guard is still who's most important.
You're going in another bag again. You said we're getting new stars, and I'm like, where?
Exactly, right? Same thing with hip hop. Like Kendrick, Drake, Cole, like all these guys that have been there for over a decade, almost 2 decades, they're still the ones carrying the game. Mm-hmm. They're still the ones that have the most impact, the most importance. Although there's some young guys coming up, like, Cardi, like he did huge numbers. Lil Baby always has his pull. All these young guys, Rob 49, etc. Glorilla, shout out Glorilla. Mm-hmm. Like they're all like leading a new charge, but there's no sense of like, oh, that's the one. Like there's no sense of like, oh, okay, old niggas are done now and the new ones are taking over for real.
I haven't had that feeling for any of the only one who's ever come out more recently and gave me that feeling is Doechii. The way like,
yeah,
she's a star.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone else really.
I almost wanted to say that for Tyler the Creator, but when you think about it, he's old too.
Yeah, he's not new at all.
Yeah, like Tyler the Creator is over a decade in.
Yeah,
way
it's
over.
Like,
I think.
Yeah,
he's older than Joey
he's well
Badass.
over a decade in.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. So it's like what's gonna happen to the game? Like, how does like hip hop like move on from here? That's why I think that this battle is gonna lead to a transition point, and I think that's part of why it's gonna be so big and impactful.
Like you're expecting new artists to take over from Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole?
Yeah, I'm hoping for it.
And I agree with you in one way, but I think if we had stars, this beef wouldn't have happened.
Like other people to take the relevance and like carry the torch.
I know that they don't like each other, but this definitely feels like a label made this beef happen.
I see what you're saying. It does feel like,
so if there was stars and they weren't focusing on the Jake Paul-ism of this, that wouldn't be happening.
I will say in my opinion though, I think it would have happened anyway, and I say that because I think no matter what, Kendrick wouldn't let it all end before it's happened. I
agree that there would be songs back and forth. I don't think it would be the phenomenon that it became.
Oh yeah. I don't think. Yeah, I agree. If there was a changing of the guard of some sort, then it wouldn't have had this level of importance and impact.
And you can't change the guard with the same person I went to school with.
Yeah,
like how, like you know what I mean? It's got to be another generation. Like we came up together. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't make sense.
Nah,
like they try to do that with Tyler, and it's like I love Tyler, and I love his music. I think he's like a brilliant creative, but I'm like, Tyler's old, son. Like y'all try to treat like he's the new young hot like artist coming in, and it's like Tyler's been there for a minute.
What do you mean by? Because I'm not sure what you mean by like the people are trying to push Tyler as like
they were the same people. That's about to get me in a whole bag, man.
Now get your shit off.
All right. So I think they've been wanting to get Drake out of here. Them propping Tyler up is acknowledging his great, but he was great before you guys started propping him up.
Yeah,
it is. We need somebody else.
Yeah,
we need another mascot for this thing. Tyler didn't work. Kendrick is kind of working. But you know who is working? Doechii.
Yeah. I mean, Doechii got like a spark.
Yep.
I gotta watch her though. I want to see. She's in like that moment that every person who has that thing goes through, where they get that moment where like the hate is louder than the praise. Because although she gets her accolades and all of that, in the proverbial streets, there's a lot of hate and a lot of she's a plant. Like, yo, why they forcing her down our throat? There's a lot of that, and a lot of people who don't know that she's been working at this for a long time. So I got to see how she navigates this, because this is like her pivotal moment where she makes the right plays and the right moves. Then it shuts down all that noise. And then she could take that, and then now she has to do that. Then now she has to meet Glorilla where she's at, and then keep on going from there. And hey, man, I wouldn't be mad that I just want a creative up there. I want somebody creative and unique.
Absolutely, so. It's just the I think people have again a distaste for the crown being placed. It's almost like the crown has to be a majority vote. I don't want to say vote, but
like it's to become like some sort of collective in a way has to come together on that.
Correct.
Yeah, there's always like a torch passing kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I think so too. I think so too.
When you're giving us the person who's the next up, when it wasn't seen by everyone, and then you're giving them the crown, people are gonna have resentment, even if the person is worthy of the crown.
Yeah. That's true.
It doesn't take away from her worthiness. It's just, how y'all giving the crown? Nobody voted.
Yeah. That's part of, I think, what makes people go like, yo, who is this? Where are they coming from? Because it's like they're so thirsty to find a new person that they don't allow it to marinate. They don't allow it to, to earn it for real. Like she's gonna earn it anyway. But when you like kind of just spoon feed her into that spot, like she doesn't need you to do that. Like give her a runway and allow her to continue to fight and toil and earn what she's getting. Yeah, that's a concern for me with that, but I think she'll navigate it right and she'll get there. She'll figure it out. She's talented.
It unfortunately almost has nothing to do with her.
Yeah, it's the industry.
Yeah,
it's the industry.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think about how movies are playing out as well? Because I feel like people focus a lot on hip hop and focus a lot on music and how much music is changing and how much things have shifted. But I feel like in the last few years, almost last several years, really, honestly, just from the pandemic going forward, movies have lost like a certain sense of importance to culture in general. Like so many movies will come and go, you don't even hear about it. Major pictures, currently to me, I feel like the first movie that got real hype and attention a long time just came out. Sinners, yeah.
Mission Impossible.
But I'm gonna keep it
came out
a few years ago. I think
that was a big deal. I do remember that. Yeah, Maverick.
Yeah. But you see how like few and far between it is?
It was.
Like it used to be every Christmas we had something huge. Every spring there was something huge, and there's always a summer blockbuster that you always like. Yo, I gotta see that. Did you see that? You go to work, you talk to your coworkers about it, or you go to school and you're talking to your classmates. Like, yo, you saw XYZ. Yo, did you see Avengers Endgame? You saw it? You didn't see it yet? What?
I could be wrong, but I think it's 100% COVID, and I think it's actually kind of getting back to it. I think COVID killing movie theaters and some movies going straight to streaming, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Killed it. But I think it's also kind of not getting back to where it was, but I think movies are kind of gaining traction again. Movie theaters are gaining traction again.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
I'm gonna be the old fuddy duddy in the movie because
what you about to say, gang?
I think it's part of social media training.
Yeah,
you feel like socials is killing it?
Because even when I was in there watching it, it wasn't that much longer, but it was like, damn, this movie's kind of long. Because I'm so not used to just sitting one place and watching it straight through. I didn't go to the bathroom. I didn't pause it.
Yeah,
there's nothing. It's harder, which there's a lot of short form content.
Yeah, attention spans are a lot shorter than they used to be.
And love the movie. Y'all got to go see it.
To my Sinners.
Yes. Yes. But while
Fantastic.
I was watching it, I was like, this would be dope as a limited series.
Ooh.
The limited series killed the movie.
Yo,
It would be.
again, COVID, bro. I swear,
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was limited series before COVID, but everything on streaming and all that just got like I don't know. All of that became way more prevalent.
Yeah.
People were searching, like finding old limited series.
Yep.
Everything started going to limited series to these platforms: Netflix, Prime,
Yeah.
HBO, Showtime, all that stuff. Yeah, I think COVID did all of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I know COVID did is kill budgets. Because I look back and I look at like TV shows and movies and everything and the kind of set designs they had, how grand everything was. And now I see all the tricks they use to kind of use the same set and like just repurpose it. And, you know, they doing like the 90s sitcom thing now where they'll be in the same one room and they just switch out a couple things, change the wall color.
Yep.
And it's a different version of the same room. Like, whereas they had the budget to like build a little city, you know what I'm saying? And book Brad Pitt and book George Clooney and book Angelina Jolie or whoever, you know what I'm saying, on the same film and it actually not be trash.
They knew they were going to recoup. They don't know now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, I think movie theaters were like paying for that too because they were expecting to get the income from the tickets, but
Yeah.
because they're not getting that, like the revenue, they're not getting the people coming in.
No, yeah, that's
They're
true
not
too.
partnering. Yeah,
That's true because the theater is like, it's starting to build back up now, but there was a long time where it was easy to get a movie ticket. And that wasn't how it was back in the day when the movie was good.
yeah,
Right.
You had to find the ticket and get lucky and catch it, or you got to wait a month.
yeah.
Yeah, like
And movies will be in the theaters longer.
yeah, yeah,
And it was a wave. There's not as many anymore.
Yeah.
There's some movies that I want to see that is not on everyone's radar.
Yeah,
yeah. That's true.
Like Marvel, they've done a good job of getting people, pulling people out.
Yeah.
And they know they're gonna make the money back. But a lot of these other movies, and it almost didn't get me. If I didn't see the matinee, then it probably wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, facts. I missed the matinee run. You just go there and just catch it.
What?
You get the 2-for-1s. Oh my god, I missed those.
Now another.
$30 for a ticket is wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a head buster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is now.
And another thing that did change it though is like the cutting the cables because people don't watch commercials anymore. So now you don't see with social media that helps a little bit, but you don't see trailers unless you're
True.
like seeing on YouTube or something.
Very true.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a lot of movies you don't even know it's coming out if you don't catch a trailer somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. That's real. That's real. It's like it's getting a little tricky now.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's like making it. I feel like it makes it harder for like true creators and real artists like Ryan Coogler, who's brilliant, or like Martin Scorsese. Like different people to actually access the budget to make something thoughtful or to reach the masses and actually get attention on what they're doing. Now Ryan Coogler his marketing team is brilliant. They figured out how to get the word out correctly and kind of put their ads in front of your face so this movie was coming and you were ready for it.
Yeah.
But a lot of movies I hear about them after the awards or whatever, and then you're like, oh, what is that? I never heard of that. Oh, and then you watch it and it's amazing. And you're like, wait, why didn't I know about this movie?
Yeah,
It's
like
weird.
half the movies that were like nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, I didn't know about.
Yeah.
You said half.
I knew some of them just because like I saw some stuff on social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, like some of the movies I never heard of and they were nominated. Like
Yeah,
I never heard of Honora. I think was one of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that one too. I still haven't watched it.
You heard
Still
about
don't
it
know who it's
before
about.
the awards, or
I never heard of it until the awards.
okay.
The joint with Adrian Brody, I don't remember what it's called, but I knew about that because I seen something like with him.
Bruiser or
Yeah,
Brutalist,
yeah,
I think.
The Brutalist. Yeah.
I didn't know about it until the awards.
Me either. I found out about it when it started winning stuff, and I was like, "What is this?"
I technically didn't know about the movie, but I knew he had a movie. I saw something like I knew he had a movie. I saw something on social media, so I knew about it. I think around when it was coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of those movies I never even heard of until the awards. It's crazy now.
It is for me. I'll be watching the award show and I'm like, "Oh, that's my guy."
Yeah.
Oh, he got a movie. I gotta see it.
Yeah.
And I never wind up seeing it.
Yeah.
The Academy Awards is like 90% of the movies I don't.
Yeah. Facts. It makes me wonder, like, does it benefit or does it hurt, like, for good content to come out? You know, like things being more difficult. Because I was having a conversation with somebody recently, and we were talking about art as a whole, and just, you know, we were discussing whether authentic and good quality art can come from Can you provide good authentic art without struggle?
Without struggle.
Yeah, like is struggle necessary for good authentic art to exist?
Okay.
And I was like, instinctively I wanted to argue yes, because I don't want to be like, okay, for you to be a great creative, you have to be going through something or have went through something. But then you think about a lot of the greatest pieces of art and the greatest artists, and usually there's always like some sense of pain or some tough history, or just always like this tortured soul effect that's always tied to it in some sense. And it made me wonder, like, can it be done? Granted, we've been talking about Drake too.
Yes.
And I mean,
yeah.
From our perspective, what we would consider struggle, he hasn't tasted any of that. So, but you know,
I get what you're saying. I don't know if I need the struggle to have good art though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one.
It is.
I think you got to be emotional, like in touch with your feelings and stuff. I think you have to be. Yeah, I think you have to be like in touch with your feelings or emotional to have creativity.
I do think that too, to a sense. Like,
and those are the people that might normally feel some struggle because they're more emotional, they're more sensitive to things.
Yeah.
So they might be more prone to feeling some sort of, at least,
some sense of pain or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I get what you're saying. I kind of, I go back and forth on how I feel about the topic as a whole, but I kind of feel that too. Like they always have to feel something to some degree.
So maybe I'm conflating the two. Are you talking about more this person's existence, their tortured soul, so they have an ability to create, or an obstacle that they're overcoming in their professional career that makes this journey a little more tortured for creativity?
I say either or. Like just any variation of struggle or whatever you would want to call struggle, like whether it's, you know, you come from like a rough environment where you had to operate a certain way to survive, the hood struggle, so to speak, or, you know, maybe you came from a household that was, you know, overly restrictive and stifled your creativity or your freedoms, and now you're blossoming out in this way, or maybe you're just on a career path trying to do things and you keep running into these roadblocks and these impediments and you're trying to find a way to navigate and just become something, you know.
I don't know if I believe in the roadblock thing, but the tortured soul thing, yes. I believe that person got to be different. We all got beat as we were a kid. No one thought to put it on a track with a beat. Like, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or write a screenplay about going to the corner store and getting robbed and all that stuff. That's different.
Yeah.
Like you got to be a different person to log that in your. We all experienced it, but you logged it in your memory bank and knew you were gonna do this later.
Yeah, that's true.
You're different.
That's true. You got to be unique. You got to be a standout kind of person.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Those people I appreciate.
Do you think so? So do you think it's possible for someone to be a great creative and be like completely normal?
No.
Okay. What about you?
A great creative
And be completely normal.
No.
There need to be something different, something whether off or different or transcendent, etc.
I don't think they'll get enough inspiration to be great.
Nah.
Yeah, maybe not. Me either. I don't think so either. You got to experience something. You got to experience something.
Or look at the world differently.
Yeah. Because that is one thing I noticed about every one of the great artists and actors and, you know, composers, etc., whatever you want to call it. Every one of them that I know about, they always have some form of perspective that's just different. That just doesn't like you either is illuminating or it makes you go like, what?
I almost feel like you can't be normal and be great. You could be like moderately successful in a way, but I don't think you could be great and be normal.
Yeah.
I agree.
I guess that's fair because greatness and normal, they can't coincide.
You got to have a certain level of audacity.
Yeah.
And that's not, everyone doesn't have that.
That's real.
Yeah.
I respect that. Speaking of that, like I remember somebody mentioned earlier, we were talking about one of the greatest creators of our era, but also one of the unfortunately worst people of our era of music and hip hop and culture. And
who's this we talking about?
Easy. Kanye to the man, oh man, Jesus H Christ,
my man.
So so first of all, he dropped Bully, right? I don't know where to listen to it at. And to be completely honest, as much as I've spent most of my life loving Kanye as a musician, I'm exhausted, bro. I got so exhausted with him that like I knew it was coming. I didn't care, bro. I didn't care. I didn't feel like doing the work to go dig to find where it's at and like try to track down the music. I don't know if it's on Dat Piff or some shit.
Right.
You gotta find it on SoundCloud. I don't know where it is.
That's the name of the tape?
Bully, yeah.
Okay.
He's been talking about it for a while and like planning to drop this for a while. The only thing I've seen is like there's a song he did. I want to say his daughter might have been on it. And the video for it was his son in a boxing ring just beating up on a guy.
Where are you seeing this?
This was on social media.
Okay.
I saw that on social media.
I'm like that. I'm not. Where?
It's hard to find anything with Ye, bro.
Okay.
Like he's making sure he burns as much bridges as possible, so it's as impossible as it can be to hear anything he has to say or do.
I just seen the clown in a black KKK outfit doing the interview. So I was like, "What the?"
It's out of his goddamn mind, bro.
But okay, so and that song that his daughter was on was like the drink that Kim didn't want him doing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Kim didn't want him doing the song.
There was like a whole thing, I think, and like he like leaked the text messages, something of her saying she didn't want it.
Yeah, she didn't want him to do any of this, and she didn't want her daughter to be a part of like this chaos. She was like, okay, she knows that. I never thought I would see a day where I'm on Kim's side, but I'm on Kim's side, man. Like she sees her daughter looks up to her father. Yep. She's not gonna stop that because why would you? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, she's trying to protect her 13-year-old or however old her daughter is. She's trying to protect her and keep her what innocence she has left. So she's like, okay, I don't want my daughter to be a part of that. I don't want my daughter to be a part of like that kind of chaos. The things you're saying, the manner in which you're saying it. Like, so he was talking about this song, Cousins, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
This is the infamous song?
Yeah.
Right.
Where he was wilding on the track. And he was talking about a traumatic experience that happened when he was young. But what the experience was is that he basically says that I think he said he found like his mother's porn, and he had a younger cousin, mind you, that he was super close with, and he explored some of his mother's porn or whatever, and then he progressed into exploring some sexual activity with his younger cousin, and it led to him performing oral on his little
you
cousin.
Cleaning this shit up. That nigga suck dick. That's what you said.
Man. Listen.
So I thought
he blew a Frank. That's crazy.
So I'm confused. So I thought he was saying like he got raped.
Nah, he was saying he was doing it.
He was the
one. He was the raper, not the rapee. He was the one doing that to his little cousin, and then, like in true narcissist fashion, he's talking about it as though
if he was the victim.
Yeah, he's talking about his traumas in a way. Meanwhile, he's describing what he was doing to his little cousin, and then describes his little cousin ending up progressing to a later.
He put his little cousin in jail.
Yeah, his little cousin murder or attempted murder or someone or something. That fact, I don't remember the full detail, but his cousin ended up mentally disturbed within his own life, and is now in prison. And Kanye is talking about it as though he's seeking for our empathy for him instead of the cousin, and instead of, you know, whatever other victims could have came out of the situation, and who knows what else have happened. But this is the newest revelation now in the Easy story.
If we're your therapist, you're fucked.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, I don't.
This shit is crazy.
And I don't know what to believe with him anymore either.
Me either, because it's always something.
Yeah. I didn't hear any of the tape yet. I didn't hear that song yet. I just saw some of the stories on social media. But
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me, yo, I'm Kanye's cousin. I'm Kanye's cousin. I'm Kanye's cousin. He's saying that for years in jail. Now he got to be like, it's not me. It's not me. It's the other cousin.
Yeah, that's not me. It's the other one.
You fucked him up in jail.
Yeah. Because you know he gonna get stomped out or like messed with or whatever. Like he gotta go through things now. Or if he not get stomped out, he's gonna have to deal with that possibility now.
Absolutely.
Because of this, because you needed attention and you needed to find your way back in.
Yep.
Because 15 years of it wasn't enough.
Right.
Pushing 20 years of it wasn't enough. You still need more. It's crazy, bro.
I don't need to hear the album. I don't need to hear the song.
Me either. I'm good on all that.
Yeah.
It's craziness, man.
I've held on to the old Kanye long enough. I think I'm more in that. It's okay.
Yeah. Like that will suffice.
Yeah. I appreciated, like how we were just saying, his audacity, and that led me to forgive certain things with him.
Yeah.
Or overlook. Not even forgive, because who am I? But overlook certain things. But I can't.
Yeah. I concur.
It's over.
It's done. I was one of the people for the longest while that was, you know, always extending grace. Always like, yo, nah. Like, listen, he's mentally like going through a lot. There's some instabilities there. He's doing his best. Like that's like, look at the intention. Look at the art. Look at the brilliance of his production, etc. No, I can't. At this point, it's like I can't.
It's over.
I'm tired. Yeah.
It's that whole. I don't want to see the black man lose like this.
Yeah.
Don't let the white man be the one to say it. But all right, you gotta go, bro. You gotta get out this house.
For real. Like at some point, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
It's over for him.
It's a wrap. And you know what's crazy? Like for the longest while, Kanye was like one of those. Like as far as like, you know, I'm a huge music fan.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's a huge part of my life. And Kanye was one of them for me, where I was like, you know, if I could meet anybody, like he was one of the people on my list. Like I would love to meet Kanye. I would love to sit with him and understand how he comes up with this and how he does this and how he does that. And he thinks so differently back before he completely revealed like the level of like idiocy that comes out of him. I was always like, all right, this dude is brilliant and he thinks so like uniquely. I would love to pick his brain and like, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
He let you down.
Yeah, bro. Let Nas down.
It is. Yeah.
It's like it's crazy, bro.